Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating topic, and honestly, it affects every single one of us. We're talking about aging, but actually, scratch that. We're talking about completely redefining it. We're going to break down the incredible story, and more importantly, the actionable methodology of a woman who isn't just surviving her 80s, she is literally defying time. Before we dive in, I want you to pause for just a second. Imagine a woman in her 80s. What do you see? Right? If you're like most of us, a very specific, kind of culturally ingrained picture just popped into your head. You're probably picturing a slow, unsteady walk, maybe pervasive fatigue or severe movement restrictions, not being able to bend down or reach up easily. It's this heavy stereotype we've all been conditioned to accept as just the inescapable reality of getting older. But what if it doesn't have to be? We so often picture stagnation, but the reality of 81-year-old RG Legros completely shatters that stereotype. She doesn't just look good for her age. No way. She lives actively, energetically, and with this just profound sense of inner strength. Now you might be thinking, okay, she just has great genetics. But as we'll see from the source material, her youthfulness is absolutely not a lucky accident of birth. It's built on a highly deliberate, sustainable lifestyle. So here's our agenda for today. We're going to cover shattering stereotypes, redefining movement, the power of walking, the psychology of youth, nutrition and deep sleep, and finally, building your own system. Let's get right into it. Section 1, Shattering Stereotypes, the system versus the magic pill. Let's start with our first core concept here. There is no magic pill. There's only a system. This is the absolute foundational mindset shift you need to understand RG's longevity. In our modern culture, we're constantly being sold the idea of a quick fix. We're marketed the latest anti-aging supplement, some radical 30-day crash diet, or drastic cosmetic procedures. We always want the result overnight. But RG's youthfulness, it comes from a systemic lifestyle. It's like this interconnected web of daily habits where each action naturally reinforces the other. She hasn't stumbled upon a hidden fountain of youth, guys. She's engineered one through quiet daily consistency over years. Section 2, Redefining Movement and Yoga. Physical foundations. Okay, so the way she approaches exercise is entirely different than what we're used to seeing in today's fitness culture. The old way of fitness, the paradigm that honestly burns most people out, is intensely focused on exhaustion. It relies on rigid training frameworks, always striving for personal records, and constantly pushing your limits until you literally have nothing left. It actually depletes your bodily resources. RG's way is a total paradigm shift. Her movement is not about athletic exploits. It's about moderate systemic stress, steady constancy, and simply maintaining strength and endurance for everyday life. She exercises to fill herself with resources and to feel alive, not to break herself down to the point where she needs 3 days just to recover. When you apply moderate, consistent movement that naturally weaves into the rhythm of your life, you are quite literally communicating with your cells. You're sending an important signal not to age, but to adapt, recover, and gradually develop. Biologically speaking, this taps into a really cool concept called hormesis. That's where a mild, manageable amount of stress actually triggers the body's cellular repair mechanisms. So you aren't doing one-time intense jerks that shock the system. You're gently demanding that your body stay capable. And when you do this regularly, the body stops perceiving age as a limitation and starts treating it as an ongoing environment it needs to adapt to. Now, a massive part of this physical communication for RG is yoga. But let's redefine what that actually means here. It's not just about outwardly beautiful poses or forcing yourself into a human pretzel. It is deep work with the body that restores lost contact, sensitivity, and awareness. You see, as we age, we suffer from a loss of proprioception, which is just our brain's ability to sense where our body is in space. We stop noticing that tension creeping into our shoulders. We don't feel postural imbalances until they turn into debilitating injuries. Yoga restores the nervous system and acts almost like a software update for your brain. It brings back that internal dialogue, making the body manageable and truly alive. Section 3, The Power of Walking. Complex Effects. Building on that physical foundation, let's look at walking. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking that a simple, fresh air walk is just too easy to be effective. They assume they need to be suffering on a treadmill in some poorly lit gym. But walking outside is incredibly potent. Think about it. You're getting a massive intake of oxygen, which directly improves brain function. You're exposing your eyes to natural daylight, which regulates your circadian rhythms, balances your hormones, and sets you up for deep sleep later that night. Plus, moving through a changing environment generates something called optic flow. It's this visual phenomenon that actually quiets the stress circuits in your brain. It's a multi-layered, complex biological effect, and it simply cannot be replicated by any gym simulator. Section 4, the psychology of youth, the driving engine. Here's the thing though, all these physical habits are absolutely useless without the right mental framework. You could do perfect workouts and eat the best food, but if your mind has already decided that you're getting old, well, your body is inevitably going to catch up. Most people facing aging ask this really limiting question: isn't it too late to start? RG operates on a fundamentally different frequency. She asks, how can I move today? You see the difference? One mindset aggressively searches for limitations and excuses to stop. The other constantly seeks out opportunities to engage with the world. And this brings us to a super fascinating distinction between psychological stagnation and psychological youth. Psychological youth is not about age denial. It's the active rejection of internal stagnation. Think about it. If a person stops trying new things, loses interest in a changing world, becomes cynical, and refuses to adapt to new ideas, they effectively get old even if they're chronologically only 30 years old. We all know someone exactly like this, right? Conversely, if you keep your interest alive, embrace movement, and maintain flexibility in your thinking, your chronological age simply ceases to be a mental block. Section 5, nutrition and deep sleep. Fuel and repair. All right, now we arrive at the foundational elements that physically sustain this active mindset. When it comes to fueling the machine, I want you to think about energy management, not strict, fanatical diets. Heavy, highly processed foods act like a massive tax on your body. Your system is forced to expend a huge amount of energy just to break them down, and that constant, heavy digestive burden quite literally ages you faster. On the flip side, light, natural foods digest easily. When digestion is easy, you experience an energetic release. That freed up energy is then used by the body to do the really critical work of cellular restoration and renewal. Simply put, food should give you lightness, not steal your energy. Then, we have what might just be the most underestimated factor of the whole shebang: recovery. RG treats sleep not as a necessity, but as an investment. Most of us view sleep as this annoying biological tax we have to pay, and we often try to get away with pain as little as possible so we can stay up later. But if you're doing all the right physical and nutritional things and failing to recover, it all becomes meaningless. Sleep is the active, non-negotiable time when the body actually gets younger. During deep sleep, this incredible synchronized process happens. Check this out. Your cells are actively renewing and repairing all the micro damage from the day. Your nervous system is finally resting, processing emotional load, and restoring itself from that constant daily stimulus. Your hormones are rebalancing, setting your metabolic rate and your mood for the following morning. If you disrupt this delicate process with poor quality sleep, your body begins to age at an accelerated rate. Deep sleep is the absolute bedrock upon which everything else in this longevity system rests. Section 6, building your system, the compounding effect. So, how do we pull all of this together? Look, there's no secret ingredient. It's a highly accessible lifestyle where nothing is done to the extreme. Movement gently supports the body's structure without breaking it. Daily walking provides multi-layered energizing effects. A flexible psychology prevents mental stagnation. A light, natural diet prevents internal overload. And deep sleep acts as the ultimate restorer. The true magic here is in how they compound. Great sleep gives you the energy for your walk. That walk outdoors regulates your mindset. A flexible mindset helps you make lighter nutritional choices. And eating light ensures your deep sleep isn't interrupted by heavy digestion. It's a continuous, beautiful loop that carries you forward. Thinking it's too late to change is the most dangerous illusion. Whether you're 30, 50, or 80, the story of R.G. Lajeros proves that youth isn't an age, it's the state of your system, and you can choose to maintain or destroy that system every single day. The exact moment you convince yourself that it's just too late to change your habits, that is the exact moment when real, irreversible aging begins. I want to leave you with a final, really powerful question from our source material. I want you to ask yourself right now, what can I improve today? You don't need drastic overnight changes. You don't need intense self-abuse or extreme diets. You just need to start making systematic, reasonable steps. Maybe it's just a 20-minute walk outside, choosing a lighter meal for dinner, or simply prioritizing an extra hour of sleep tonight. Start the process in the opposite direction, because years from now, people might just look at you and wonder how on earth you do it, and your answer will be simple. You just decided to build a system. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through the explainer.